Okay, number 1. 9x squared plus 25y squared. That's not a hyperbola.
Was that worth 5 points?
No. I made that worth 2 points. Well, no, yeah.
Did anyone get it wrong?
One person-ish. Well, 2 not a hyperbola, and so I kind of graded them as if they were a combined problem and took some points off. Because it was hard to grade then. Like, I thought it was harsh to like have all this work for 1, and then not a hyperbola for 2, and just take off 7 points. So I kind of looked at the work and took a combined points off of the 7. But 1 was worth 2 points, 2 and 3 are both worth 5 points, and 4 is worth 4 points. That makes 16, right? 5 plus 5 plus 4 plus 2. So 16-point quiz. Number 1 is not a hyperbola. There's no b term. There's no xy term at all. A is 9, b is 20, or c is 25. Since they're both positive, it's an ellipse. They're different, so it's an ellipse. Okay, 2, because of the minus, definitely a hyperbola. So you have a center at -3, comma, positive 2. A is 12. B is 5. 144 plus 25 is 169. The square root of 169 is 13. So that was very nice of me. You're welcome.
I liked it.
Okay. First of all, this is a horizontal hyperbola. I did not require you write the word horizontal, but a lot of people did. And the interesting thing was a lot of people were very good at identifying whether or not it was horizontal or vertical, but a lot of people said, horizontal, then that means the x's stay the same, or it was weird. Like a lot of people identified it as horizontal, but then added to the y coordinates. And so, just make sure you understand, if it's horizontal, they're going to have different x coordinates, but the same y coordinates, right? So to find the vertices, I'm going to add 12 to the x coordinates, so that gives me 9, 2. I'm also going to subtract 12, and that gives me negative 15, 2. So there's your vertices. To find the focuses, I'm going to add 13 to the x-coordinate. That gives me 10, 2. And I'm going to subtract 13 and get negative 16, 2. And then finally, for the asymptotes, it's going to be y equals k plus or minus. Since this is a horizontal ellipse, it's going to be b over a. So the slope is 5/12. And then it's going to be x plus 3. Okay? So there's your basically 5 pieces of information. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Clearly, if you got A wrong, you're going to get a wrong C, a wrong vertices, wrong focuses, wrong asymptotes, right? So if that was the only mistake you made, you should not miss 4 points for that problem, right?
Wait, I'm confused as how do you know which 2 and 3 go in the asymptotes? I switched them.
Well, the x coordinate should always go with x.
Oh.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Number 3 is exactly like number 2, but with the added initial step of completing the square. So if we group the y's, that's 16y squared plus 64y. Group the x's, negative x squared plus 2x. And I'm going to add the 1 to the next other side. What do I have to do with the y's right now? Factor out a 16. That's going to leave me with y squared plus 4y. I'm going to leave room for a third term there. Do I have to do anything with the x's?
No. Take it a negative 1.
Yes, you have to factor out a negative, which makes this x squared minus 2x. I would guess most left this as plus 2x. So got the wrong x coordinate for their center because of it.
Can you not have a, this is a rare question, can you not have a negative x squared? And can you not?
It's got to be a positive 1 in front of the x squared. That minus is what makes it a hyperbola. So it goes between the fractions.
Okay.
Okay, so inside we have to add a 4 here, which means I add a 64 to the right. I add a 1 in here, which means I add a negative 1 to the right. So we get 16y plus 2 squared minus x minus 1 squared equals 64. Let's make sure we're watching up here, especially if we didn't do well. So we'll divide both sides by 64. So you get a y plus 2 squared over 4 minus x minus 1 squared over 64 equals 1. So we've got a center of 1 comma negative 2. Positive 1, negative 2. A is 2, B is 8. 64 plus 4 is 68, so C is going to be square root 68, which simplifies down to 2 radical 17. I didn't really care if you simplify the radical or not. This is a vertical hyperbola. So we're going to add to the y coordinate. So if we add 2, that's going to be 1, 0. Then subtract 2, that's going to be 1, negative 4 for the vertices. Your focus is we're going to be adding and subtracting 2 radical 17. So you could have said 1 comma negative 2 plus 2 radical 17, or 1 comma negative 2 minus. And again, you could have said radical 68, so negative 2 plus 2 radical 68, negative 2 minus radical 68, or I think the decimals were like 6 point something and negative 10 point something, right? And that would have also been great. Huh? I don't either. Do you have 64 and 4?
Wait, A is 2.
A is 2, B is 8.
Yeah, so 16 plus 4, 20.
64 plus 4. 8 squared is 64, not 16.
Oh.
There's your problem. All right. And then your asymptotes are going to be y equals k, negative 2, plus or minus. Now this one's going to be a over b, right? So 2 over 8, which is 1/4, x minus 1. Good? Okay, and then number 4, we first solve for t. So you're going to have t equals x plus 1 all over 2. So y is going to be negative 8, x plus 1 over 2 squared, plus 2, x plus 1 over 2 plus 1. So you're going to have negative 8, x plus 1 squared over 4. The 2's cancel, so you just end up with x plus 1 and then a plus 1. Negative 8 divided by 4 is what? We have to square that x plus 1, so that gives you x squared plus 2x plus 1. So that gives you negative 2x squared minus 4x minus 2 plus x plus 2. So your final answer is negative 2x squared minus 3x. And again, I just saw a lot of violations of PEMDAS. The order of operations is what killed people the most. Some people distributed the 8, which is totally not allowed. Some people brought this 2 out. Negative 8 divided by 2 is negative 4. That's totally violating order of operations, all because of this exponent. You know, this is a 2 squared, so you can bring a 4 out. And if I wanted to, could I put that negative 8 into the parentheses? Yeah, but you'd have to call it 64. And actually, you couldn't take the negative in. You could take the 8 in without the negative, leave the negative out, but it would become a 64. So you could have called this 64x plus 64 and then squared it. Or no? Not squared. Yeah. No, it had to be square root 8. Sorry. It had to be a radical 8 that goes into the parentheses. You have 2 radical 2. The 2's would cancel, so you'd have radical 2x plus radical 2. You'd have to square. No, I wouldn't recommend it. Questions?
I have kind of a
Personal question?
I didn't put I separated the 1/2 at the very beginning also.